Heute bin ich hier zusammen mit Youri und Youri ist Archäologe und einer, der sich ganz besonders spezialisiert hat. So Youri, tell me something about what is your main goal on this trip?
My main goal on part of this trip is to examine or analyze the whale bones that we come across and see how humans have hunted these animals in the past.
Okay, and what can you tell from bones anyway?
Well, the main thing for us that we're doing is trying to find out what species were hunted. So there are a lot of whale species. You have the bowhead whale, you have the blue whale, it's the biggest animal in the world, of course, fin whale, and so on, a lot of them. And we have a lot of the belugas over here, which are the white whales. So we're trying to determine which species were hunted. Also, we're taking very small samples and then going to determine when they were hunted.
And what do you have to use as skills to analyze this?
Well, we're taking this for a small sample. We're using a Dremel, which is with a circular disc. So it cuts something off the bone. We take a very small sample, and then we take it back to the lab, and that's where we perform all kinds of analyses on these bones and get to our answers.
You examine whale and walrus bones. Actually, you most work in the laboratory. What is it like for you to see and discover really big animal remains in the field?
I mean, this is really a great, tremendous opportunity. It's unheard of. There are so many bones, so many big whale and walrus bones, like you said. I've primarily worked in Europe, so in the Netherlands and Germany, for example, and there you come across like one bone or maybe two, and that's it for an archaeological site. So over here with thousands of them, it's just amazing. Yes,
it is, and he is so happy about this. Can we see some skulls?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh.
There are a lot of them over here. So over here,
wow,
we have a beluga skull. It's quite a big one, so it's probably a male individual. Males are a little bit larger than the females. And at this site that we currently are, we counted 500 of them. So they were hunted 100 years ago, and over 500 of them were killed over here for their meat. Yeah.
So we have these remains to analyze and to search.
Exactly.
Is it a complete skull?
It's almost complete. We're missing a very small part in the back. So it's broken. Of course, it's been here for 100 years already. So yeah, that happens. The falls apart. Yes.
You yourself are very specialized. What would be your greatest dream as a result, and what other topics on board interest you personally?
Well, my greatest interests are really the history between animals and humans in the past, primarily walruses and whales. So my greatest discovery, that's a good question. I think finding species where they're not currently anymore. So finding species that have probably been hunted by humans, have been completely extirpated, are extinct now in regions, and then finding out that they were there in the past and that humans have discovered that, which is of course a very sad story, but it's also very interesting.
Something like Jurassic Park.
A little bit,
suppose.
Yes.
Have you ever been this far north before?
I have not actually. No. I think I live in Norway. But I live in Trondheim, which is way further south. So no, this is my very first time this far up north. So it's really exciting.
It's the same for me, and it is exciting. What insights can you gain by looking into the past?
Well, looking into the past, we get to see how these animals were living before humans affected them. So Svalbard, where we currently are, Spitsbergen, has only been discovered 400 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's quite recently. It's a geologist, of course.
Yeah.
That's really recently. So we're trying to find out what these animals were doing, how the populations look like in the past before humans came there, and then look at them, what humans have done to them, and see how the populations have been affected through those 400 years.
If you could travel with a time machine, whether into the future or into the past, what would be your goal, and where would it take you?
I think as an archaeologist, I am inclined to go back to the past, of course. Whether there's a particular period that I would like to visit. Well, if we're here, I think I would very much like to see the the whaling going on over here. So that would be roughly like 400, maybe 250 years back over here, and seeing really what these people were doing with them, and that would gain so much knowledge just from seeing these people being active. Yeah, that's just a dream.
But you would like to have a ticket back.
Of course, yeah, no, definitely wouldn't like to stay there. People died all the time. It's very cold. We now have a very luxurious ship, of course, with good food.
Yeah.
In the past, that was not so much.
What do you like to do in your free time? What are your hobbies?
In my free time, I like to travel a lot. So, like I said, I currently live in Trondheim, but I like to travel, visit new places, meeting new people. But one of my hobbies is also, again, still the bones. So often when I find something dead along the way, I bury it and then dig it up a year later and then try to articulate it, put the skeleton back together.
Could you imagine going whaling under the conditions of that time before? 400 years before?
I cannot. Well, first of all, like I love these animals, so I would never be able to hurt them. I'm a vegetarian, so so no, definitely not. And also the conditions, I think it would be like really risking your life. There's like now, if there's some emergency or something, we can phone someone up, and then maybe someone can come rescue us. That's the luxury of our time, I guess. In the past, that was not like that. So if you got stuck somewhere, then you might as well die over here. And yeah,
and it would be much colder.
Much colder as well.
The clothes are much worse.
Yeah, no, not exactly. So no, I like our time. Yes.
What is your favorite animal? Do you have one?
Well, we go for whales, and then in particular one species called the gray whale. It used to live in Germany as well. Yes, but before
long times before.
But it's no longer there. It's probably 400 years ago that it disappeared. But no, it's really my favorite animal. Yeah.
And why?
Because it was there previously, but it's the first whale species that went extinct in an entire ocean, probably due to human activity. So it was there in Germany before, but yeah. Hunters in all of Europe probably hunted them, and well, they disappeared at some point. Yes.
Yeah, this would be exciting to see them.
It would be. Yeah, I've never done that. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.